Bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, hari ini Dr. Jenny Lane kesempatan datang ke tempat kita sangat beruntung karena Dr. Jenny ada satu senior lecturer di CSOP, kemarin sudah ketemu Profesor Paul juga ya, jadi di tempat yang sama. Dr. Jenny Lane ini dia masuk salah satu yang terpilih sebagai International Adobe Educational Leader, jadi salah satu contoh yang bagus. Dan dia karena dia diberikan penghargaan untuk pengalamannya dan kontribusinya di bidang ICT, ya, di bidang TIK, di bidang penggunaan TIK di pendidikan. Jadi kesempatan Bapak Ibu belajar banyak dari Bu Jenny Lane ini mengenai penggunaan TIK di bidang pendidikan, dan dia juga sebagai konsultan secara nasional dan internasional. Jadi saya tidak akan lama, Bapak Ibu kalau mau baca lebih lengkapnya di halaman 30 mengenai Ibu Jenny Lane. Saya serahkan waktu untuk Ibu Jenny.
I'm not sure whether it's morning or afternoon. I think it's afternoon now. Afternoon. Good afternoon. Lovely to meet you all. Please stop me at any time. If I'm talking too fast, then say slow down. If there's something that you want to ask questions or just stop me, I want to make this very informal with you. I'll talk to you briefly about some of the research that I've been doing using mobile learning and mobile learning devices in schools. And for the mobile learning, the device that we looked at was using the iPad. I run a blog. Some of you might have seen that, the Tips 2012 blog, where I have a lot of teachers, and I think have any of you seen the blog? Because I know that I do have some Indonesian teachers who are on that. Any of you been onto it yet?
Udah ada yang pernah ke blog itu belum?
Belum.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, go and have a look. That is all the things that I find about using the iPads in the classrooms I put up there, and I've got lots of teachers. I think now when I looked yesterday, it was 31,000 teachers from around the world are busy using those resources in schools and at universities around the world, and I'll show you that later. But with the blog I have a little map, and the map tracks where the people are in different countries, and so it's always very interesting to see when a new group of teachers come on board and start using the resources. And please go on, make comments, add your ideas. If you're using the technology in your classrooms, write to me. This is my email address. Tell me about it, and then we'll write something about what you're doing, and we'll put it on the blog to share with other teachers around the world. Last week I had a teacher over from the Maldives, and I noticed that they were starting to use the blog in the Maldives, and he said they're very excited about it. So I'm going to be working with them, and we're planning a visit that I will go over there next year and go and work with their teachers in their schools and support them to get these mobile learning programs going in their schools. The other thing that I would like to talk to you about is Twitter. Do any of you use Twitter? No? Okay. You must all go and you must use Twitter. Twitter is fantastic. It is free. There are wonderful teachers all around the world who are using Twitter. And I personally learn more from Twitter than I do from anywhere else. All the conferences that I go to, all the books that I read, I learn more from Twitter. Go in, have a look, it's free. You go on, you set up your username, and then you start following people on Twitter. And you can start off, if you want to follow me, my Twitter name is at @edujen, and then see the people that I follow. I follow amazing teachers and educators around the world. And what you can do on Twitter as well is it gives you a chance to follow different conversations. So if you go put in that little hashtag, that's called a hashtag, and there's something called edu chat. If you're an early childhood teacher, there's something like that called kinder chat. There will be stuff on iPads. There will also be a theme on mobile learning, mLearning. Something else that I am involved in that will be very interesting for you. Have you heard of an organization called iEarn?
Organisasi namanya iEarn. Sudah pernah ada dengar? Belum, not yet.
iEarn is an international organization of teachers around the world who work together to promote global understanding, and they use a lot of technology in that. And that would be, they are fantastic. There's an iEarn collaboration center. You can go and have a look at the project. So they will work on a project, and different teachers from different classrooms around the world will work on those projects together.
Jadi proyek internasional guru-guru di seluruh dunia berkolaborasi melalui iEarn itu.
And so you can team your class with a class in Australia, a class in America, a class in Africa, and work on something together, and you post it up on the iEarn Center. It's a really nice way of engaging your class with global issues. They also have a conference every year, which is very, very interesting, and the teachers come along, and sometimes they bring their students. They have a youth conference, and they present the work that they are doing. So the one in 2013 is in Qatar, in June, July, which is a very, very interesting event for teachers to go to. I don't know how to work your computer. Oh, it's just that one, okay.
Yeah.
There we go, okay. So really the whole idea about digital schools and putting the technology in schools is very, very interesting and very new. And the field of mobile learning with the mobile learning devices, which can be mobile phones or can be iPads, take the learning into a very, very interesting space. So I will briefly look at why we're doing this, where we're doing it, how we're doing it, who's doing it, and what are the next steps for teachers. So really, what my particular project is, the TPAC iPad project in schools, has come about because of the changes in technology and the new technologies that we can use in schools, and also changes in curriculum, where we're trying to prepare our students for the future workforce. And we know that in jobs that they will be doing in the future, there will be a lot of technology, and we need to be giving them those 21st century skills. The mobile learning is actually a very, very interesting notion because it's changed the pedagogical space. It really has changed the way we teach and learn when we have these mobile devices. It means that we can now teach not only within our classrooms, but we can teach in a virtual space. So for example, the iEarn organization that I was telling you about means, and using things like Twitter that I told you about, means that a lot of learning is going on in a virtual space. It's no longer situated in your classroom, but it is happening in the cloud, collaborating and working together, and students learning in that way. It has also changed the physical space, because before your learning happened in this room. Now with a mobile learning device, you can be out with your students anywhere. Your students can be on a field trip. They can be using this device for their learning. They can be taking the learning home, and they can be working on this device, on their learning, in their time at home. So it really is changing when we're thinking about the learning space. The learning is not just happening when they come to school and when they go home. It is now able to happen 24 hours a day at any place at any time. You can, with using the technologies, you can bring the world into your classroom. And this was an instance we did in a local school where there was a chap from Perth, Tom Featheringale, and he was busy doing an adventure going across the ice caps. You can see he's in his ski suit. But he came in and he visited the class before he went to school. They did all their lessons were around his trip. They worked out his route. They worked out his diet. They worked out his calorie intake, his energy output, the distance he was going to travel, the mass he was carrying. And then we would use Skype